it's Sandra back again on another video. I'm sorry about the technical problems I had with the last video. Basically, I unpulled the plug out of my Mac at the back by accident when I was trying to show you pictures around my room. So if you just joined me, I am Sandra Bellamy, author of this beautiful book, Asexual Perspectives, 47 Asexual Stories, Love, Life and Sex, a celebration of asexual diversity. I'm also the founder of Asexualized, and the founder of Asexualized Academy, and I share my own asexual life journey in order to help you in yours. If you haven't already subscribed, please hit the great big subscribe button below right here, right now, and please hit that bell icon to get notified of every time I go live right now, post a new video. Now, normally I would be doing a video every night in chat after 11 p.m. UK time, and I've just been doing a stream not so long ago. And unfortunately, because I pulled the plug out of my Mac, it ended abruptly. And that was a video about grey areas of asexuality. And it kept saying that I was still live when I wasn't. So I wanted to start another live video for you in the hopes that the previous live stream would stop automatically streaming. And I'll give you like an extra video today. Which is very important. Like, what is the difference between asexual love and sexual love? It's a very, very big question, and it's quite easy for me to answer this one from an asexual point of view. But if you're not asexual, you might be kind of like, oh, well, that's a bit weird question to ask. So the difference between asexual love and sexual love is asexual love, in my personal experience, is a lot more pure. So when we love someone with our heart, our mind, our soul, and our body's not really much into it. Doesn't mean to say that some asexuals don't want to express their love through physical intimacy. It just means to say that we don't really focus on the genitals and that type of area, you know, and we're very, very much focused on the deep emotional connection. And hi, Dan. Yeah, I'm back giving you an extra bonus video today, which I don't usually do. But I'm literally, when I put my Mac up from the last video, it literally pulled the plug out, so I had to restart my whole Mac over again, and I didn't want to just end it with me seeming to be live streaming endlessly. So I thought I'd quickly come back on here and do another video, which, like I said, I don't usually do, especially not back to back. Yeah, in terms of asexual love compared with sexual love, asexual love, in my personal opinion, is an experience is so much more pure, because we're not focusing on the genitalia, we're not focusing on the sexual attraction that we don't experience in general, and therefore the love is much more based on a very, very deep emotional connection that personally I've found hard to get in previous relationships when I was with heterosexuals. I haven't been able to get a strong, deep emotional connection bond, maybe in the beginning when I was just friends with them, but when I turned to a relationship, sadly, that kind of went by the wayside. Whereas with asexuals, more intense. Well, with asexuals, it's a really pure form of love, you know, because the lust doesn't really enter into it, you know. And I say the lust doesn't enter into it, but obviously I've got an erogenous side to me, but it's more based on passion than lust, I would say, because lust to me is very sexual thing, you know. And, you know, to be with an asexual person, you have to be deeply emotionally connected to them, otherwise it wouldn't work. Because that's how asexuals love. We love on a deep emotional connection. We don't love with our body. We love with our mind and our spirit, our soul. And so it's much more deeper level. Do you know what I mean? The love is more than a body part. Exactly, Dan. Exactly. The love is far more than a body part. And, you know, asexuals are obviously able to love people who, you know, can't have sex for whatever reason. I mean, asexuality is not the same as not being able to have sex. They're two completely different things. Asexuality is a sexual orientation, but obviously, you know, we could be with someone who was impotent or was celibate because they choose to be, or you know, just had a disability that prevented them having sex. We could be with a person like that if they were the right person for us in terms of personality and in terms of shared interests and hobbies. And this is a difference. Like with asexual love, it's very much based on commonalities, like things you have in common, values, beliefs, things that should be very important in terms of sexual love but they don't hold so much weight in terms of sexual love because all the sexual attraction and lust gets in the way. Whereas because we don't have the sexual attraction and the lust, that's all gone. We're left focusing with all the very good, high quality things you should be looking for in a long term committed relationship, which are the things like I said, commonalities, things you have in common, shared interests, things you like to do together, intelligence, like intellectual, deep, meaningful conversations, because like once you take away all the sex stuff that people usually do in a relationship, it means you focus a lot more on the other stuff, and you would notice a lot more if the other things were wrong or something wasn't quite right or going well. Do you know what I mean? And so I think there's a lot more communication. I mean, certainly if a heterosexual's in a relationship with an asexual, there has to be a lot more communication than you would normally communicate with a heterosexual partner, because like a lot of heterosexuals, they kind of communicate sexually, don't they? With asexuals, we don't have that. So and a lot of asexuals, we tend to be quite young in what we like. I've noticed there's quite a lot of pattern with that. We tend to be quite young. We tend to like a lot of young things. We're kind of like more like we live more of a, like, I noticed it's not just me that lives a teenager lifestyle. A lot of other asexuals live a teenager lifestyle. It's quite common to, for example, to see like grown up asexuals with cuddly toys all around the room, which I do have, which you can't see. And I love Eeyore particularly. And it's quite common for guys to have action figures and stuff like that. So we're kind of more focused on the more sweet and innocent parts of life and love and things that are happening in life. Do you know what I mean? We appreciate the more fun and pretty and cute and stuff. So asexual love is more based on cuteness, sweetness, love, light, more purity, whereas sexual love is more built on lust, sexual attraction, sexual energy, more based on kind of more adult boring stuff, if I'm honest. More based on like normality. I'm not normal, I don't want to be, thanks. Do you know what I mean? It's more based on like roboticness, I think, whereas asexuals can think outside the box a lot more, because we live outside the box of the norms of everyday existence and life a lot of the time anyway, just by the fact we are asexual 1% of the population. Where that's, I expect asexuals are a lot more than 1% of the population, but when they did a study years ago, we're 1% of the population, basically. That's 1 in every 100 people you meet, so there's still quite a lot of us, but we're all different, like I said in the previous video. But I have an asexual friend who lives in my city. He is 58, and his fiance, who's also asexual, is 23. And he was explaining that their love is such a pure love. There's no trying to get in each other's pants, none of that rubbish. It's some kissing and cuddling, like really nice stuff, not any of that genitalia stuff. And I think that's like a huge difference with like asexuals. We're not trying to get in each other's pants because we really don't want what's in the pants. We're not interested. It's like, put it away. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to see it. So I think it's really important that that's why I think mostly asexuals go better with asexuals, because we can both share that deep, intimate, passionate asexual love that's very, very pure and sweet and innocent and kind and cute and cuddly. Whereas like when I've been with heterosexuals in the past, are you scared of nudity? I used to be naked with my ex, but I don't like nudity. I hate nudity. If I'm in a relationship, I don't like my guy looking at that either. It's kind of like, if he's going to look at a girl, he should be looking at me because I'm in the relationship with him, but I don't need him to look at me because I hate nudity. It's a detest of nudity. I'm not scared of it. I hate it. It's repulsive to me. It makes me want to throw up. I'm okay with my own naked body, but other women's particularly, I find it's disgusting. I hate it. I don't like naked women's bodies. Why would I? I'm female. Why would I be attracted to that? It's disgusting to me. Absolutely disgusting. I have been naked with my past heterosexual guys in the past when I was in relationships, but I have dated heterosexuals, and none of them have seen me naked since Yes, I've got a very gorgeous body. I like it a lot. But since, yeah, I've trained myself well in that respect. Since 2014, I found out I was asexual. I've always hated nudity since being a very small child. If you watch my videos, you'll know that about me. There's nothing to be ashamed of for me not liking nudity. It's natural for me not to like nudity. I'm nudity repulsed, and so is my best asexual friend, who's usually on this channel quite a bit. They're nudity repulsed like me, so they hate anything from the waist down. Don't want to see their partner naked. They were in a relationship for 3 years and they never saw their partner naked. See, so you know, this is a lot of to do with the asexuality, which you probably don't understand because you're not asexual. So you probably love the female body. I hate it and detest it. I think it's disgusting. And bodies have got nothing to do with love. Do you know what I mean? There's nothing. Bodies have nothing to do with love, and that's again the big difference between asexual love and sexual love. Sexual love, a lot of it is based on the body, based on genitalia, based on nipples, based on stuff that's kind of gross like that. That's not how asexual love is. We don't need to strip or be naked to love someone and to feel that deep, intense, emotional love connection with them. It's much more of a sweet, pure, innocent love. You know, I hate nudity in anything, in sculptures, in paintings. It's disgusting to me. I don't like naked men or naked women, but I have to see something to be a naked guy because I'm not attracted to females. I don't like the female body. And I've already gone into that on loads of videos of why that is. You know, but it's just me. So, you know, I need a guy in the future. An asexual guy, like I said, an asexual guy would completely understand that. It's more the kissing. Yeah, I love the kissing, but I've explained it last time with my clothes on. I don't take my clothes off when I'm kissing. I like kissing with my clothes on. Clothes start to come off, I actually get bored. I'm not interested. I don't mind a guy's chest being naked, but not my chest, his chest. Not my chest. I want all my clothes on. So, I like kissing, but I like a teenager style relationship, you know? Like when you're 15 years old, then you like all the kissing, all the cuddling. Um, all the kissing, all the cuddling, you know, sitting in on each other's laps, kissing and cuddling. That's it. I don't want the sex. I have to work over 5 hours. Well, most people in the UK, they work for over 8 hours. That's what they do in the UK, which is digressing. Yeah. So actually, I've got a very beautiful body that loads of guys would find very attractive, but that's for my eyes only, not theirs. Do you know what I mean? There's no need for them to look at my naked body. It's mine. It's very much mine. If anyone's going to look at it, it's just me. Thanks very much. I do spend quite a lot of time looking at my naked body, so it's rather nice. And I'm quite a nice, beautiful girl. So yes, I've trained myself well to make sure that I love my own body a lot. It's a very nice body. Yeah, I'd rather look at that, not the guy look at it. So yeah, so asexual love is like the purest form of love, really, which is why I really want an asexual guy, because I don't think heterosexual guys can give the same love, not in my experience of being in relationships with heterosexuals for a long, long time. And even since dating them, they don't seem to have that deep emotional, you look great, thank you. They don't seem to have that deep emotional connection, the sexual guys. Because I think a sexual love is much more superficial, in my personal opinion, in my experience. It's much more superficial, especially since we're talking about looks and bodies. You see, asexuals don't really think like that. We're not interested in bodies, really. We're interested in aesthetics, but predominantly we're interested in personality far more, and the way the person makes us feel, and a deep emotional connection. If an asexual person's not got a deep emotional connection with another person, they can't be in a relationship with them, and that has to be maintained and sustained constantly to be able to be happy in the relationship. If it's not, then it just wouldn't feel good. So it requires a lot of constant communication. But yeah, I know quite a few asexuals that are with other asexuals. You know, like I know my friend Ralph, like I said, who's with his younger asexual fiance. One of my other asexual friends, they got married last year to their asexual partner, female. So they're husband and wife now. They're both married. So, and they, you know, best love that my friend he's ever had, the love of his life. So yeah, I'm part of asexuality.org, and there's at least 3 people or more on there that's with their asexual partners. So yeah, you know, asexual to asexual partners can and do really exist, and you know, the love is just such more pure, innocent, sweet love. It's not concerned about the body. You know, like when you're asking me questions about the body, a asexual person wouldn't even be asking me these type of questions. They wouldn't care how I feel in terms of like talking about nudity and body, because they don't. A lot of them don't even need that. They don't. The body is just a vessel that we're sat in. It's more emotional need. Yeah, much more emotional need. Like nudity repulses me. To me, I don't look at it as just a body. To me, it's a very sexual. Or the whole body is quite sexual. I know a lot of people separate it into natural. It's not natural to me. I don't think there's any natural about anyone seeing someone else naked. To me, that's not natural, and particularly not in movies. It's disgusting. So I hate nudity. I purposely watch films at the cinema that usually don't have any nudity in whatsoever. If they do, I've made a mistake. You shouldn't pick a film that I didn't realise had it in there. But yeah, so yeah, love is completely emotional, based on emotions with asexuals. And if the heterosexual can't give us that emotionally, doesn't understand. So we have a lot of things said to us as asexuals, like, oh, you just haven't tried the right guy yet. It's like, no, it's got nothing to do with that. My last long-term ex, he was good at sex. He was the best I'd ever had. I've had other guys that was not good. But you know, I don't like the sex. I don't care for it. It's not interesting to me. It's boring. I'm not, well, you know, he didn't, you know, he made it better, more interesting than any of my other exes. But you know, I still did that. Whereas one ex I was only with 3 weeks because I got really bored with it. I had to leave because I can't be having sex. It's just so boring to me. But my last long-term ex made it interesting, but not. It's only because of all the foreplay stuff. I didn't really want the sex. I just like the kissing and the other bits. You missed something. You missed something. The only thing I miss is kissing. That's it. That's the only thing I miss about relationship. Really, is the kissing. Um, but one day I'll be able to kiss my. I think I've got an Indian asexual soulmate somewhere, so one day I'll be able to kiss him. It's fine. But yeah, that's the only thing I miss is the kissing. Nothing else. I miss the kissing a lot. Yeah. So, do you know what I mean? That's about the only thing I miss, because I've got everything I need here. You know, I've lived on my own for a long time, and I look after myself really well. I've got good asexual friends and a best friend as well that's not asexual. I'm very busy all the time. I've got loads of stuff to do because I write books and training courses. So yeah, the only thing that I miss is the kissing. That's it. I don't miss anything else. I don't miss being in a relationship for the rest of it. I'm much happier being single. I've been happier being single for a very long time. My life is much happier now. I'm single, much better. And yeah, I mean, asexuals don't, you know, when there's nothing missing from an asexual person, if that's what you mean. There's nothing missing with us. It's you know, the problem is society conditions people from birth to believe that heterosexuality is the only normal sexuality, and that everyone should experience sexual attraction and should be sexually attracted, and the more sex you have the better. And you know, that's why they shove advertising down your throat. You know, it's just brainwashing to be sexual. It's all brainwashing. And when you finally wake up to the fact that even if you're not asexual, you realize that you've been brainwashed all your life since birth, and that, oh, there's people that actually don't like sex out there, don't want it, and don't need it. You kind of wake up to the fact of reality that you've been living kind of like in this lying world all the time, that everything is not what it seems. But obviously, advertisers want you to buy their products. It's like they you know, sell clothes, makeup, hair products, beauty products, deodorant products, aftershave products, grooming products, clothes products. They sell all that based on sex, how much sex you can have, how much you can sexually attract someone, how much you can, you know, like put your body out there for the opposite gender to be attracted to you, and all this lot, you know, and it's just rubbish. It's absolute rubbish. And it's only when more sexuals will finally wake up to the reality of this can they accept more that there are people that don't want or don't need and don't like sex, you know, and that's normal for some people, just like it's normal for some people to not like nudity. Doesn't mean to say there's anything wrong with me, just means to say that I have a preference for not liking nudity. Like everyone has preferences for things and everyone's valid. Do you know what I mean? No one should try and make someone invalid for their sexual orientation or how they feel. It's really important, you know. Just as much as some people love nudity, I can't stand it. I think it's disgusting. Don't think there's anything good about it. Apart from you have to go to the toilet and have a shower. Apart from, you know, I'm happy to be myself with that because I live on my own, so it's all good. Acceptance. Yeah. Yeah. You know, but people have to understand, heterosexuals need to understand they have been conditioned from birth to believe that heterosexuality is the only sexuality. And it's not true. It's conditioning from parents, conditioning from teachers, conditioning from peers. It's all conditioning. And there are a few sexuals in the world that are with asexuals and they don't, you know, they can do without sex because they realize the sex is more to do with the lust thing, it's more to do with the physical energy thing, and it's, you know, and you know, sometimes sex can be the root of all evil. You know, it's what a lot of people split up over, but not the main thing. Usually, a lot of people split up over money or a lack of the same expectations in the relationship in the beginning. People have different expectations in relationships, and they haven't sorted them out in the beginning. Do you know what I mean? So it's not just for a lack of sex, but you know, asexuals don't need sex. That's the whole point. Like sexual love is very much based on how much sex you can have, or if you're not having sex, something's wrong with the relationship. And if you're not having sex, it's just a friendship, which is totally untrue because sex does not equate to love, just like love does not equate to sex. So, you know, and even in relationships with heterosexuals, you know, people don't have sex usually all the time, 24/7. However much people make out they do, there's not that many people that do that all the time. So in the moments you're not doing that, of course you usually still love your partner if it's true love, right? It doesn't stop you loving them. But some sexuals, they can't be in a relationship without sex. There's quite a majority can't, which is fair enough. They just don't come near me because I'm not interested in sex. And you know, you really have to understand that asexuality is really much a deep, you know, very deep, pure form of love because it's not based on any physical stuff whatsoever. Really, do you know what I mean? There's nothing there in terms of physicality. You know, you don't feel sexual attraction, you don't feel the need or the urge or the want to have sex with your partner. Sex doesn't even enter the equation where love's concerned. I knew years ago that I didn't equate love with sex. They're two completely different things to me. There always have been, there always will be. And when you join the asexual community, you realise that, yeah, there's a load of other people that think and feel exactly the same way as you do as well, which is why it's so good to be around people of your own kind. Obviously, if you're heterosexual watching this, then you probably don't understand it. You probably can't fathom out how someone can be like that and be happy, but we can a lot of the time. There's nothing missing from an asexual. There's nothing broken. There's nothing wrong with us. It's natural for us to be like that. And I would never, ever want to be heterosexual. Never. I'm hetero asexual, but I'd never want to be heterosexual. I don't want to feel sexual attraction. I don't want to feel that lust. I don't want to feel that sexual energy from my body. I would be disgusting for me. I'm not interested in that. I'm glad I don't like sex. I'm glad I've not had it for years. I'm glad I don't intend to ever have it again in my life. I much prefer my life now, much more happier without that. Yes, I like romance. Yes, I like kissing, but I don't like sex. And I don't need it. And I never needed it in the first place. I just did it because I went along with what society dictates to us we must do in a relationship, to the point where I couldn't stand it anymore. Because I couldn't do that anymore. I just can't do it now. It's or my body doesn't want to do it anymore. I never really was into it in the first place. But now I know there's other asexuals like me, and I can get an asexual for a relationship. I don't have to set second best and being with a guy who wants me to do that. Have I ever had sex with a woman? Of course I've not. I've told you I'm hetero. I'm not interested in women at all. It disgusts me. Never had sex with a woman, never kissed a woman, never would. It's disgusting. I'm not a lesbian. I've told you that. Asexuality's got nothing to do with being a lesbian. There's lesbian asexuals. I lack sexual attraction, but I'm attracted to guys only in about 7 different ways. But I'm not attracted to women at all. It's repulsive for me. And I don't like people saying that to me, to be quite honest. Do you know what I mean? Why would I have sex with a woman when I don't like sex and I don't like women and I'm not attracted to women? I'm not a lesbian. Never have been. I've always been with guys since small. I've been in heterosexual relationships for half of my life. But I don't be in with heterosexuals anymore. If I do, I've dated a few in the last few years, but you know, obviously I need to be with an asexual person, not a sexual person. So that's a weird question. Why would you think I've had sex with a woman, or even ask me that question? I told you on the last video, I'm not a lesbian. I'm not interested in women. I hate the female body. It's disgusting. I'm not interested in a woman at all. At all. Ugh. I'm definitely not a lesbian. I have lesbian gay friends, but I'm definitely 100% not a lesbian. It repulses me, the whole idea of that. It's disgusting to me. But there are asexual lesbians, so I appreciate them. They're on my channel, you know. So I love all my asexual followers dearly, you know, and everyone's valid. You know, there are a lot of asexual women that are attracted to other asexual women, but I've never been attracted because I'm hetero. Someone who's a woman attracted to a woman would be called a homo-romantic, not a hetero-romantic. I'm hetero. I've only ever been attracted to guys, you know. I don't even have many women friends. Most of my friends are guys. I get on better with guys. I always got on better with guys. Have one female friend, best female friend, and pretty much I have a few female friends online, but in person I only have one female friend, and the rest are guys or non-binary. My best friend's non-binary, but yeah, the rest are guys. Because I don't, you know, I always get on better with guys than women. Always have done. I always will do. So, you know what I mean? I've got male traits as well, which I like having. I'm not ashamed of my male traits. I'm into business. I'm not a housewife. I don't expect me to cook and clean after any guy. I'm not interested in doing that. I refuse. But when I've dated heterosexuals, if they're lucky enough to even be around my place, yeah. So you should be sorry for asking me a question like that. It's a disgusting question, really. And so, you know, I've never been interested in women. I've always been interested in guys. You know, I always have done, and I always will be. You know, that idea just repulses me. But yeah, my most of my friends are guys. Even years ago with guys, I've always gotten better with guys. But I have some male traits. You know, I'm not interested in cooking or cleaning for a guy or being a mother to him or anything like that. You know, he can clean up after himself, wash up after himself. Like if a guy was fortunate enough to even be in my place in the first place, which a lot of guys, I don't want to live with a guy. I love living on my own. And you know, one of the guys I dated, like, is if you want to have food, you pay for it, you bring it round. You know, well, more than one of the guys. You know, you bring it round, you cook it for yourself, you clean up after yourself, you wash up after yourself. I'm not doing it for you. I'm not here in life to do that. I'm here in life to live a very, very happy, energetic, vibrant, asexual life, which I adore. You know, sweet, innocent fun. And, you know, I'm a Disney girl, so I love Disney stuff. And yeah, so really long term, I want an asexual guy to be in a relationship with, because I think, you know, heterosexual guys just don't really understand, which clearly I know you're heterosexual, Dan, and you don't really understand. Which, you know, some heterosexuals, they don't get it. But, you know, you don't understand how I can't feel sexual attraction, but I don't ever you know, even the relationships I've been in with guys, in the past, you know, doesn't matter how much I love them, I don't feel the need, urge, or want to have sex with them ever. Even when I've had it in the past, I never felt that, you know, it didn't even enter my head. I don't think like that. It didn't even enter my head when I was a teenager. I loved romance even back then as a teenager, holding hands, kissing, cuddling, but never sex. Wasn't interested in that. It was like a foreign concept to me, something that was like removed of myself, something that was outside of who I am, that the other rest of the world experienced and I didn't. Looking back, that's how I would describe it, you know. But that's why I really want an asexual guy, because with an asexual guy I wouldn't get asked these type of questions or insults. Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't get asked this type of stuff. An asexual guy would just totally get it, that he's into me, I'm into him, and it's all cute, sweet, innocent, lovely, fluffy, bunny type of love, where with candy floss on top. It doesn't have all this sexual stuff and this naked body stuff talk and this lesbian talk. Do you know what I mean? That's all sexual rubbish to me. I'm not interested in any of that, you know? Can I still can you a lot? Can I still can you a lot? What does can I still can you a lot mean? I have no idea what that means. But yeah, no, I need an asexual guy. You really don't understand me. Do you know what I mean? Which, you know, you're a sexual guy, so I guess sexual guys find it really difficult to understand. Do you know what I mean? But, you know, these questions, you know, things like this is really uncomfortable for me because, you know, it's like, you know, would you ask yourself if you're attracted to a guy? Do you know what I mean? Just because I'm asexual, why would I be attracted to a woman? That's like asking you if you're attracted to guys. Unless you're bisexual, you're not going to be attracted to a guy, are you? Because you're hetero, you know, if you're heterosexual, you ain't going to be attracted to guys, are you? If you're bisexual, you'd be attracted to both, but I'm hetero completely. You know, and no, asexuals don't need any nudity. We don't need body parts, you know. This is just a vessel that we're in here. We're more spiritual, I think, in general, you know, because this body's just literally a vessel to carry our body parts in when we're in this human experience, you know. And that's pretty much how it is, really. That's how I see it. I'm lucky though, I've got a nice body, and I've got nice hair and eyes and smile. For me, so it's all good. But yeah, so you know, I mean, you are given a very good demonstration of why I prefer to be with an asexual guy, because an asexual guy would just not say all this stuff. You know, there'd be none of this like weird questions. That asexual guy would understand me much better. And that's why I think asexual love is so much better, because the person understands you more. The connections therefore going to be much more deeper because they understand you. They're not going to be asking you awkward questions or saying weird things that are like very sexual and to do with not being understood. You know, asexual guy would really understand me and would be able to connect with me on a deep emotional level. Asexual can't really connect with the sexual person when the sexual person doesn't understand them. Do you know what I mean? And the sexual person is completely saying things that are making the asexual uncomfortable. Do you know what I'm saying? And so, you know, I mean, there's a lots of forms of love in the world that don't involve sex. And if you're a heterosexual that's in a relationship with another heterosexual, there's times when you'll be apart. Like your girlfriend, for example, might be going away for the weekend with her girlfriends, or you might be busy with work and you don't live together, so you might be busy with work for 3 days and don't see each other. But in those times, you still love the person. And that's pretty much how it is like for asexuals all the time. We're not having sex, but we still have those things of love consistently and persistently all the time. So, you know, it's really, really important to get someone of our own kind that understands us, because we don't have these type of questions. Sorry, hopefully I can learn from your videos. But you know what I mean? It's like these type of questions are just typical heterosexual questions. I mean, we get a lot of heterosexuals that don't understand us, and they'll ask, like, I've been asked it before, like, are you a lesbian? I absolutely hate that, you know, because asexuality is part of LGBT plus QIA acronym. And I personally like don't at the moment attend anything to do with LGBT pride events, because a lot of people, not just yourself, but other people, well, no one's asked me if I've had sex with a woman before. I mean, that is just disgusting. But other guys have sometimes asked me if I'm a lesbian. I'm like, no, I'm definitely not, because they don't understand how I can't be sexually attracted to a guy. So they think I ultimately must be attracted to a girl, and it's like, no, I'm totally attracted to a guy, like in spirit and mind, in aesthetics, in intelligence, in creativity, you know, all this type of things. That's all to do with guys, none to do with women. You know, I don't even talk about women looking good. Like, I don't think they do, you know, because I don't think of them like that. If I ever talk about women being attractive, I usually use it in the term of a guy would find her very, I know guys would find her very attractive in terms of aesthetics, because, you know, I don't speak like that about women because I'm not attracted to women. And so, yeah, you know, and, you know, a lot of sexuals are like, oh, you haven't met the right person yet, which is another thing we get, which is totally rubbish. Like, yeah, I haven't met the right asexual person yet. You're absolutely right. I've not met the right asexual person for me yet, which is true. I haven't, because we're also very different, you know. And what else do asexuals get accused of? A lot of different rubbishy stuff. Like, some of it's disgusting we get accused of, you know. It's like just hideous. It's like heterosexuals don't get accused of this type of theft, so why should we be accused of it? It's ridiculous. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with us. We're not broken. I'm happy that I'm asexual. I don't want to be sexual. I never would want to be sexual. I don't like sexual energy. If I have a guy around me who's heterosexual giving me sexual energy, I can feel it and I don't want it. It makes me feel nervous, anxious, uncomfortable, feeling bad, miserable. That's why I can't wait. You know, like, I hold asexual meetups in my city in the UK with real life asexual people, and it's just so wonderful to be around asexuals that understand you, that are exactly like you, and that we're just, none of us are interested in sex. It's like, what's that? What's that rubbish all about? Load of rubbish. Do you know what I mean? Like, do you know what I mean? It's just like, we're totally removed from that, and we all feel the same, and it's just great. And these are, you know, like, my meetups, I tend to have more guys than girls, actually, even though there's more female asexuals, because, like I said, I get on better with guys. So the majority of people that come to my meetups are guys, actually, which might shock quite a few people. But, you know, so there's guys who actually don't want sex, don't like it, don't need it, don't have to have it, and quite happy to do without it, and fed up of the traditional stereotypical gender roles of, oh yes, a guy, all guys like sex, all guys must want sex, all guys must do it, all guys blah blah blah. Do you know what I mean? Like, asexual guys aren't like that. They're not interested in sex, they don't like it, you know, they're just not interested in it. And so, you know, I've got loads of experience like that. Do you know what I mean? I've been holding asexual meetups in my city since 2015, I think it is. You know what I mean? And I've got asexual people. 5 of us so far are going to be there this Saturday. One of my best asexual friends and 3 others. One of them's a newbie to the group, so that'll be nice. One of the other people is the one who's got a young fiance. And then the other person is female, actually. She's the only female that usually consistently comes to my meetups. And she's lovely. But not in that way. I'm not interested in that way. She likes girls. She did like guys and girls, but she likes girls. I think she just likes girls now, but, you know, she's bi, or was bi. I think she's just for girls now, but you know, I don't like her like that, only as a friend. I don't see her outside meetups usually. But she's a really nice person, got a lovely personality, really, really kind-hearted person. So yeah, that's basically, you know, like, why asexual love's so much better, because you don't have these interrogation questions. You just have a comfortability with each other. You just have a knowing that it's never going to lead to sex. There's no pressure to ever do anything like that. That, you know, if you kiss a person, they're not going to be having to control the urges for sex, because the urges are never going to be there in the first place. There's no worry or stress that they're going to pounce on you at any given minute. There's no chance of getting pregnant like that, you know, if you're not doing anything to do with the genitalia area. You know, sexually transmitted disease you don't have to worry about. Don't have to worry about pumping hormone contraception in your body. It's all good. It's a much better life. It's a much more healthier life, much more fulfilling life, much more interesting life, because we're not focused on sex. We do a lot of different projects usually. I've got so much on the go. I have 7 projects I've got to complete at the moment. I'm working on 2 at the moment simultaneously. My second book for Asexuals and my Asexual Meetup Mastery course. I'm working on both of those at the moment this month. So they're what's really, really important to me. You know, and helping asexuals really, and helping people to understand us better. You know, like my second book is actually called Asexual Guide to Sex. Real life asexual sex stories, sex advice, sex help, and sex guidance. I'm doing that specifically so that people can see the difference between an asexual mind and a sexual mind in terms of attitude towards sex. And I'm really hoping that a lot of heterosexuals can understand asexuals much better. The book's based on, you know, based on asexuality. It's designed for asexuals who are thinking about trying sex for the first time, despite not experiencing any sexual attraction whatsoever themselves, to make an informed choice and decision where they want to have a go at it or not. But when asexuals have, if and when they have sex, it's more like an activity, like a board game they're doing. I kind of removed from the experience. It's more of just a thing they're doing for the sake of doing it, not because they're really into it, if you know what I mean. And so the Asexual Guide to Sex book will help, like, not just asexuals, but I think about trying it for the first time will help parents, teachers, friends of asexuals, allies of asexuals, educational establishments. It will help, obviously, partners or potential partners of asexuals, and just in the general wider world, it will help people to understand us better, because it shows you the difference between how asexuals think and feel about sex. It doesn't tell you. It's not like a textbook. It shows you through the words of the people's own stories. And I'm very honoured that so many people have wanted to take part in the book, and that they wanted to share their very intimate personal details to help other asexuals. It takes a lot of guts to do that, you know what I mean? So it's really, really important that the book gets out. But I'm still at the moment, like, day before yesterday, because we're in the next day now, I was working on 3 stories with 3 different people, 3 different interviewees, and but I had a break yesterday to work on the Asexual Meetup Mastery course. Got people waiting to buy that one. So, you know, but yeah, asexuality is so sweet. Can you see, like, my tones drop down now because I'm not so happy talking about this stuff? It just makes me really uncomfortable. It's like, why would I be interested in women just because I'm asexual? I wouldn't. Do you know what I mean? It's disgusting for me. And, you know, the implication is there's something wrong with me being nudity repulsed, when there's nothing wrong with me being nudity repulsed. It's just different to the norm and what some people are like, you know? So, you know what I mean? Like, can you tell, like, I was really happy and bubbly earlier, being my asexual self, and now we're talking about sex stuff. It's just like, I'm not happy anymore, because this is not what I'm interested in talking about. Do you know what I mean? You know, I like being bubbly. Me is my asexual, wonderful self. You know, I truly am asexual. I know on the last video I was talking quite a bit about grey areas, but I'm truly asexual, you know? You can see through the sex. I don't want to have sex. That's the point, though. I hate sex. I can't stand it. That is what I mean. Yeah, I mean, asexuals have the ability in general to see things that other people can't see in the world. You know, sex, arousal, sexual attraction, sexual desire, they're all different, and sex drive, they're all different things. Whilst arousal and sex drive is closely linked, but, you know, the sexual desire is a desire for sex itself, in and of itself. Sexual attraction is when you're sexually attracted towards this very specific person or people, and you want sex with that particular person or people. arousal is just a feeling in your genitalia, which may be linked to physical touch, or in my case, I get aroused without having any physical touching whatsoever, just in my mind, which is quite rare, I think. And then, you know, and usually it's got no one involved, just me. I'm not interested in anyone else being involved. But I can get aroused through kissing, sometimes, not in clubs, and not I've experienced anyway, not lately. So yeah, and then, you know, arousal is just like a feeling in your genitalia. It doesn't mean anything. And then, you know, like some people have a sex drive but or libido, and then they, you know, masturbate to relieve that. But I don't consider arousal as the same as sex drive personally. For me, a lot of people put it as the same thing, because I've not got any drive for sex whatsoever. So I think the word sex drive to me makes absolutely no sense for me personally, because I have no drive to have sex, nothing, diddly squat, nothing. I have tested myself over and over again with the hottest guys, the most beautifully aesthetically looking guys. I mean, the guy that I did have sex with in my past, that I stayed with for just 3 weeks, I was so bored. He aesthetically is one of the most hot looking guys ever. He is foreign, Latino, very, very hot looking, beautifully aesthetic looking. But I was just bored. 3 weeks after set, I was just bored out of my brain. I'm like, I can't do this anymore. It's just boring. And the only reason I was doing it is to please him, because we kind of split up, and then I got back with him. He's like, I want sex. I'm like, why? He's going, because I like it. I'm like, I just got fed up with it. 3 weeks was enough of that. I'm like, ugh, can't stand any more of this. I liked his cooking. It's because I wasn't interested in the sex, I was interested in the other stuff. Like, asexuals are interested in other things. They're not interested in the genitalia. They're not interested in all that rubbish. We just want the, like teenagers, when teenagers are in love and they're not having sex, and they're all excited to see each other and want to hang out with each other, and literally watching Netflix and chilling really means Netflix and chilling, not Netflix and I want to get in your knickers, you know. And, you know, like hanging out with each other like bestest friends and talking until the early hours of the morning, all the sweet and innocent parts of the relationship, like you were before you even reached the age of consensual sex, and you're having a teenager style relationship. That's the type of relationship that I like, with none of that adult rubbish in it, you know. None of that adult rubbish, you know. Sweet innocent kissing. I used to kiss passionately when I was a kid, so I'm just used to that being part of a teenager thing, to be quite honest with you. You know, I don't want a guy to touch my top half when he's kissing me. He has to keep his hands around my back. Okay, Dan, off you go. Good night to you. I'm going to wrap up anyway, because I don't think I really need to be on this stream anymore. But yeah, I just want to say, you know, that asexual love is the purest form of love, really. You know, it's a much more happier form of love, much more sweet, much more innocent, which is why I really want to be with an asexual guy long term. I think it'd suit me better. I'd feel more comfortable around the person, feel like he understood me better, feel like we're on the same wavelength. I feel like he cares about me as a person, and he wouldn't care about the bodily parts. He'd just love me and cuddle me for who I am. So, you know, in the meantime, I'll just stay single. It's a lot easier and a lot better. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to get into a relationship with the wrong guy. That would be bad. But yeah, I've been single now, predominantly single since 2011. So yeah, that's good. Single life's much better. And asexual love, I still say, is the most purest form of love and far better than sexual love, because it's not that body genitalia rubbish and sexual stuff going on all talked about. It's much better. Anyway, I think I'll love you and leave you for now anyway, because this is my second stream, not long after the other one. But I really love you being here. Thanks for being part of my community. I wish you a very, very good day wherever you are. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the great big subscribe button. Hit that bell icon to get notified of every time I go live. Right now, I'll post a new video. And I'll see you on the next video or live stream. Take care. Bye. Bye.